Alright, one more trek through New Game Plus. Wait, hang on. Wasn't there a whole thing before this? Yeah, there's a little convenience option. It's completely free, you can just skip the whole MS Solar sequence. It's pretty good. Anyway, I tweaked the loadout a little bit because I wanted to cheat even more. So we've got infinite techs.
I see we're also still have Sergey hacks on. This is good.
Mm-hmm. And on top of our infinite techs, we also have infinite use of elemental modes. So we can just spam these things over and over and over again. It's real neat. Also in this playthrough I'll be using the small handful of techs that we haven't used already. Like Ancient Sun, which I didn't get to actually use here because it does things other than the Ring of Fire, but Apollo just walked into it too quickly. Also, Thimblefetter, aka Do You Like Icicles? It's pretty good. Anyway, being able to use techs at all in Sergey Hacks mode is kind of a big deal because, you know, it gives you huge amounts of arena coverage and lets you, like, actually be even safer than usual. Also, it enables a couple... I mean, calling them skips is a bit much, but, like, just this, for example. The first hit of Wave Motion Beam, it goes through stuff and then it shoots back towards you, so you can use it to break stuff. Also notably, even if you activate all these hacks, you still can't use level 3 techs before you have 6 skill points, so there's that. Also, remember how this boss kind of broke the first time because we shot it? It turns out that with techs we can break it even more. Because we killed all the slimes, this just breaks. This is softlock, sorry.
Ah.
We cheated too much.
Unfortunate.
I'm not really sure what the underlying mechanics are, but... Go on?
I was gonna say, I feel like that's a missed opportunity to have made that just be an instant win situation if you kill all the slimes before that actually happens.
Like, if I was Radical Fish, even, like, after allegedly being done with the game, if somebody reported this, I still would have caught it and then acknowledged it. Just had something pop up to say, yeah, we get it, you cheated, you did a good job at cheating. Anyway, speaking of cheating, this attack hit me. Like, it hit me. There was a damage animation and everything. And yet, it did not actually do any damage. I have no idea what the hell that was. This has nothing to do with New Game Plus, this is just a funny thing that can happen if you miss a shot in exactly the wrong way in Zervatar Temple. Whoops. Have fun walking the whole way back around there. Now, I'm here for revenge on this room.
I cannot believe you were gonna come back specifically to murder a bunch of cats. That is fucked up.
I mean, we were gonna murder the cats anyway. We kind of have to, it's a mandatory plot battle, it's just that. Now we can spam Toxic Revenant literally everywhere. Can't stress enough that on our custom Heaven or Hell mode, skill points are kind of vanishingly rare, because you hit so few times, you just never get any skill points. And it's either that or infinity skill points. There is no middle ground. Ah well. I guess the middle ground in New Game Plus is instead of activating all of this bullshit and doing Heaven or Hell mode, you scale everything to your level. Because that makes things, very spicy. Here's our old friend, the Trial of Patience. You might have noticed that if you shoot the water fountain, it makes it do its animation. But if you do that during the trial, the bug will call you out, and you'll be disqualified. But I bet you weren't watching the bug very carefully during the trial. Because if you were, you might have noticed that every now and then he goes to sleep. And when he goes to sleep, you can shoot the pipe with impunity. As to whether or not this makes the trial of patience any actually easier, I don't know. But it's there, and you can do this for some reason. Video games. Alright, Gotham. You're prepared for our damage level? We're gonna see about that. The item that I just ate, a Rising Superstar, is one of the backer items. It gives you defense down 20% and attack up by 30%. It's the only 30% attack buff item in the game. So anyway, after eating that, I hit him with Mjolnir and Scarlet Rain and Wave Motion Beam, all at the same time. I have no idea what happens if you somehow exhaust his health with that gambit.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like missed opportunity to not, like, purposely knock him down to, like, just above 50% and then just fucking annihilate him.
Anyway, he recovers the correct number of health bars in order to come back for this. There is a speedrun strat that I would have liked to show in this run, but unfortunately in our New Game Plus mode, we just deal too much damage to make it work. It's like surprisingly inconvenient to deal too much damage to this guy. So I just use one Wave Motion Beam to just annihilate him. But it turns out that if you use the right equipment and the right stats and the right food buffs, and you juke your hit point total and your health regeneration just right, you can make Wave Motion Beam just fire continuously for like a minute. And between all that regen and the hit and the healing that you get from when you end one of his phases, it just infinitely fires the whole way until it kills him. It's a real fun time. And yeah, that is actually a speedrun strat. This has nothing to do with New Game Plus, this is just a raid again, but it's only here to give me a buffer to talk about something that I heard brought up and went and looked through the game's files to find stuff out. So I said before that the real hard mode in CrossCode isn't anything to do with Sergei hacks or Leah Must Die, Prepare to High even. It's when you turn on level scaling for enemies. Notably, when you do that, your party members don't scale in level, so if you do that and you come here, I actually don't know if it's true in the second raid, but in the first, Emily and Tronny will just vaporize whenever they get hit by something. Which means that Leah will be on her own in this room, and there will be nobody to tell the other team what block we're attacking. And there is actually dialogue for this, in which the other team are like, hey, what's going on? Why aren't any of you saying anything? And the report will not actually go out until either Emily or Tronny come back.
That's nifty.
Fucking video game. And I guess that also confirms that when you are KO'd in Crossworlds, that you literally can't see what's going on. You don't you don't go into spectate or anything like that. You're just out somewhere. What do you actually see? We don't know, because canonically Leah never dies. Oh well. Regrettably, the raid boss takes fixed damage during scripting events, so we can't really use Sergei hacks, so this fight is kind of a nightmare. the turrets aren't really a very big problem, but the fucking lasers will get you. Their hitboxes are deceptive, their tracking is more efficient than it really looks like it should be, and you would think that the lasers targeting your party instead of you would be helpful, but you don't know what way your party members are going to dodge, so have fun with that. This took me a couple tries. How dare Radical Fish not impeccably balance their entire video game around this specific combination of joke New Game Plus modifiers. Absolutely atrocious development attitude. Anyway, if you can get a feel for, like, actually when the turrets fire, you can make do with this. Naturally, they will hit you multiple times in very quick succession, so once more will not save you. Also, I guess we should note that shooting the wrong pillars doesn't really affect very much. It just means that the other team has to send over another turret, and you get to do it again. There's no penalty, really. Well, that was weirdly arduous. Alright, here's the one we came for.
Right, I did say I might find a way to remove it, but,
yeah,
I did not.
Do you know who doesn't have anything to say about any of our damage stuff? Sal. Just absolutely fucking nothing across all 5 duels. You'd think, if it was gonna be anyone, it would be this guy. But nope. Just nothing. But yeah, on the whole, there's really surprisingly little New Game Plus dialogue in A New Home. I was very disappointed, actually. There's just... I guess everyone is just used to this at this point. Pretty much the only time it really comes up is specifically when talking about Apollo and the upcoming duel. But nobody else really ever mentions it at all. And I'm just like, that's...
I mean, I suppose, to be fair, there is really only so much you can say about it, and they got some decent mileage out of it in the base game.
Yeah. It's still disappointing, though.
Like, what were they gonna say? It's like, aha! What's that, Leah? You're still cheating? Oh. Okay, I guess.
Yeah. Maybe they just admitted defeat. Nah, we can't write anything new for this. And yeah, it's a shame that we didn't try anyway, but maybe it would have just been even worse if we'd tried anyway. Also, here's what happens if Apollo is actually in your team when you hit this bit. He doesn't get the somehow appearing on top of the pillar gambit. He just jumps out of your party and teleports away, and he's now locked at this point. You can't have him back in your party. Kind of weird, but okay. Also, because in A New Home you get pets out of chests, which isn't something you ever did in the base game, I was just kind of wondering whether anything particularly notable would happen if we carried over our pets into New Game Plus and went to get the chest again. You can see the chest is still there. I was like, are they going to acknowledge this? So yeah, just to be absolutely sure, here is Baby of the East, still in our inventory. And here he is, still in the chest. Do we get 2 of him? No, we don't.
That's also kind of unfortunate.
Yeah.
Just imagine, there could have been like 5 geese running around Homestead.
Woeful missed opportunity. Alright, here we go. The ultimate duel. That one player is still very confused. Ah well, it was a beautiful dream.
Oh, I missed the Psycho Leo sprite. That is...
It's real good. Anyway, this is technically a couple of our friends' first introduction to our whole damage situation, so they've got opinions about it. Also, we were saying about, lack of effort in this, but there is one actual real neat thing, which is that if you go through all of the first 3 Apollo duels without ever actually losing a round, Apollo gets a unique dialogue here for when this is the point where he finds out that we also die in 1 hit. Anyway, God help me, I will demonstrate Ancient Sun. Here it is. I said, I will demonstrate Ancient Sun. It makes us shoot a big wave of fireballs when we do a melee attack. It's actually real good, it's got very large reach. It's just that, to get that, you have to give up the level 3 guard art with the laser counter, and I'm not doing that. And Apollo has nothing to say about, the end of this. Just shameful, really. Oh well. Kulero Temple on Heaven or Hell is, well, it's about what you'd expect. Most of it, we're supposed to have all 4 elements and all the arts anyway, so there's not really much for us to skip here. But as you can imagine, the sniper duels become a bit more urgent than they were before. We now have to do all of this basically perfectly, except, I did still cheese it using once more, but what are you gonna do?
See, now this is the Dark Souls experience.
Naturally, when you can deal 7-digit damage to these guys, you can just shoot them while they're charging up, and you can do that. Alternatively, if you can fire a really wide-ranging tech, you can hit them all. Also, notice that one guy still managed to hit us when we were at the peak of the jump in Ragnarok. That's because these guys do actually angle their shots upwards to hit us if we're in the air, so you can't, I guess, actually jump over them at all. I was very disappointed to learn that. So yeah, a lot of rooms in Kulero have you fighting a whole horde of comparatively very weak enemies, and as you can imagine, these are the ones that you need to approach with a bit more urgency in Heaven or Hell mode. The Hermagnums are technically interesting, but once you actually get to fighting them, they're not really all that. It's the Crystallers you gotta watch out for. The second one, or I guess first if you go that way, because you can do these in whatever order you like, is definitely the harder of them. There's a lot of times when you gotta go to some effort to line up shots here. And right at the end, we have to stand directly in the line of fire and actually line up a shot. So that's nice and fraught. Really, like the rest of this, it's just a study in, like, hey, have you remembered to use the thunder interaction to pull the thing towards you at literally every possible opportunity? It's very important. So yeah, we have like a second to line up and take this shot. And we have to be standing on the button to do it. And like the last time, once we actually get through, it's like, yeah, you can all die now. Yikes. Then, of course, there's the pillars. Now, of course, you can kill each of these guys in one hit, but while you're doing that, you do still have to actually dodge the rest of them. Also, I find it very curious that most of these have their damage capped to 9999, except the very last one in the pile, which does full Sergei damage.
Huh. Do they only have 9,000 HP? I mean, not that that would be any different from usual, just like...
I forget exactly how many hit points they have, it's just weird that we see a 4-digit damage cap. It's just not something that anywhere else in the game does. Ah well. Sadly, we can't always make takes through this room interesting, although I did notably somehow manage to hit 2 enemies with Final Showdown, which wasn't a thing that I thought was possible, so I have no idea how that works.
I mean, even if you did manage to make something extremely cool and stylish out of this, it would inherently be less interesting just based solely on the fact that you're killing everything in one hit.
Yeah. Heaven or Hell mode is fun, but it's not that interesting. I mean, it's very interesting as a game design conceit, it's just that, you know, not really actually that much of a spectacle, even if it is very funny to see some things die in a single hit. Oh well. You'd think that, you know, for being a gigantic gauntlet of enemies, that this room would be harder in Heaven or Hell, but no. Also, I'm a huge fan of just launching these 2 guys on top of each other.
It does kind of give the impression that Leia just kind of walked up and just yeeted them across the arena and just walked up to the next one and threw him right on top of him, too.
She's the type. Anyway, if you don't call Emily in the beginning of the dungeon, or, you know, anywhere else in the dungeon, she won't call you here, and if you try calling her, she's like, yep, we're almost at the end. No nice chat for you. Alright, ancient god. Let's go. Now, this isn't quite the open and shut case that you might expect. That first phase does go, but you gotta get those remaining hits in quickly if you want to actually skip this. Otherwise, he starts getting those attacks off and you start having to, you know, actually go to some effort. And that would be a shame. I'm a tiny bit disappointed that there isn't some final boss bullshit going on just especially for New Game Plus people, like Gotham did, but on the other hand, this is canon Crossworlds content. And I guess Instatainment just don't roll like that. Anyway, all that's left now is Sidwell, and because his deal is having enormous defense, we can, actually do a good amount of damage to him, so we can actually get this ball rolling before the hacks start coming in. He then puts his defense up, and I suddenly remember that, I don't know if I've mentioned it, Scarlet Rain goes through enemy defense. And just as fucking well, because this fight is an actual nightmare to not take any hits in. Because, Christ, he hits a lot of times. I don't know if we, actually cancelled out getting the circuit hacks altogether by doing it this way. Very curious about that. Anyway, no you don't. Straightforward conceptually, but still kind of a hassle to actually do that. Here's the scene if we turn Luke down for a date. I guess the gardening system predates the thing where they actually added food to Crossworlds. Ah well. Maybe they'll have a big convoluted gardening mechanic where if you plant certain geometric combinations of seeds, you have a percentage chance to get certain rare plants. That sounds fun. They should do that.
I agree. More games should use convoluted biological engineering. Hey, is a mini-game the right way to describe it?
I mean, it's a big, complicated interactive system.
We'll call it a bioengineering mechanic.
Sounds about right. Anyway, as you can probably imagine, having the whole infinite SP nonsense allows me to break loose a little bit in this section. I still have no idea if these guys deal damage to you, so I don't know. I'm pretty sure you can't die.
So do they even have attacks? I don't remember seeing any.
It's kind of hard to tell, beneath all the particles and all the text. Way too much stuff going on. I guess Shizuka did describe this as a stress test. Anyway, I made it my mission to try and tank the frame rate during all this. I managed to get it down to 50 or 45 just by continuously dropping Scarlet Rains. It went down to 35 when I launched that wave of bullshit against Gotham earlier. Can be done. This game is still running on JavaScript. It's pretty CPU bound. You can't just throw more gigaflops at this problem. Ah well. Anyway, that's all the New Game Plus bullshit that I have for you. I don't want to... I mean, I am privately going to do a enemy level scaling run because I want to know what that's like, but it's not going to be that interesting to show, so I will spare you the 40 more episodes of that nonsense. Instead, this has been CrossCode Heaven or Hell. It's a fun diversion into how the game breaks, or doesn't.
It has certainly been an experience, I will say that much.
And what is CrossCode if not a game about the experience? I mean, literally, it's a whole thing. But yeah, I like that they did this. I like that they went to the token efforts that they did to have stuff in the game acknowledge the fact that you're doing New Game Plus bullshit. They didn't have to do that, but I like that they did. and I'm a huge fan of how much stuff doesn't break because of this.
Amazing. All those Sergey hacks, and you only had a 30% increase in kills. SMH.
I mean, they can only spawn them so quickly. It's not my fault. Oh well, thanks for watching, everyone.